Amit, for doing this interview, and thank you for opening the personal branding series. So what I do is I invite thought leaders from various walks of life to share their perspectives on how they've gone about building a personal brand. So before we start, it'd be great if you could just quickly introduce yourself for the viewers.
Uh, Hi, Anisu. Uh, my name is Dr. Amit Nagpal. I have been in the domain of personal branding and storytelling for almost 10 years now. In fact, I was a unconscious storyteller in childhood, and I became a conscious storyteller in my adulthood.
Yeah.
So I was always a storyteller, and of course, branding and storytelling go together. And the best way to build brands is to tell your stories.
Fantastic. So what I noticed is that you're one of the pioneers of blogging. So I noticed that you have a Bloggers Alliance, and right now you have also become a NASCOM community partner. So that's it's really fantastic. And I know you've authored a book, and you're going to author another one, is what you told me. So so I think this it's great opportunity to have you be part of this. So for example, I mean, if I could 1 second, I'll just turn off the subtitles. Okay. So if I could ask you the definition of personal branding, so what's your definition? How would you define it?
Okay, so I would say that personal branding is fundamentally the process of communicating your unique strengths and how you add value to other people's life.
Mm.
Uh, in the process, I would say the first few things which you do is you identify your brand positioning. How do you want to be seen? You
Mm-hmm.
identify your brand values. What
Mm.
is the unique way in which you serve your customers?
Mm-hmm.
And then you consistently communicate your message to your audience so
Mm-hmm.
that that consistency builds your brand for those that particular brand position and values.
Fantastic. Okay, great. And so I mean, if I'm assuming that you have, because been doing personal branding for so many years. So how do you know that you have built a personal brand? So what are some of those signs?
Okay, so let's look at it in a more interesting way.
Okay.
In fact, the day your parents give you a name, you
Mm.
have a personal brand. Okay,
Okay. Fantastic.
so
Yeah.
you have a brand, you have a personal brand, but when do you develop a strong personal brand?
Mm.
That is the question.
Mm.
So, when I coach my clients on personal branding, sometimes I joke,
Mm.
before the work starts flowing in, you
Mm.
will start getting, a lot of inquiries from NGOs that, would you like to donate? Because when you start appearing successful, you
Mm.
attract the attention of non-profits and, they want you to donate and help them.
Mm. Mm.
And then, of course, the work would flow in. But
Mm.
a very important part of getting work through personal branding is sharing
Mm.
anecdotes,
Mm.
sharing anecdotes about your success stories.
Mm.
So even supposing you are a coach and you have got your first coaching client, you have got your
Got it.
first CEO coaching client, then
Correct.
you share certain stories about that experience, and that creates the trust in your audience, so
Mm.
that more work starts flowing.
Mm. 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 Got it. Okay. So what you're saying essentially is that once you start becoming a personal brand, people there will be a way to attract more audiences, and then once you start storytelling, then it becomes stronger, right? So if I were to ask you in your journey, so what does one do? So you mentioned some of those steps already. What does one do to go about building a personal brand? So how do you think of some steps?
Okay, so I would say the first step, of course, once you identify your brand positioning, you want to be known as a coach or a trainer or a business development professional. So
Mm.
once you identify your positioning,
Mm.
then the next step is to create content.
Mm.
Now, that content can be in the format of videos
Mm.
or PowerPoint presentations,
Mm.
or if you are a cartoonist, maybe in the form of cartoons or
Mm.
blogs or microblogs. Now, that would
Mm.
also depend upon,
Mm.
what kind of profession you are in.
Mm.
The platform which will be suitable for you, of course, will again depend upon your profession. For example,
Right.
if you are an interior designer or an architect, then
Mm.
Pinterest is a very powerful platform for you to show your,
Correct.
visual skills.
Right. Okay. Great. Okay. So you're saying there is, step of identifying your positioning and then creating content on different channels, which of course align with
Right.
some of the platforms which are available. So if I were to ask you, what are some of the attributes of a personal brand, and what do people associate you personally with? So you have been doing this for many years. So if people
Right.
were to think of some keywords about you, what would those keywords be?
Right. Now, again, that's an interesting question. The most important keyword which people would associate with me is
Mm.
storyteller.
Okay.
Now, that's the primary keyword, but the
Mm.
secondary keywords would be inspirational storytelling, digital storytelling, brand storytelling, you
Mm.
know, the storytelling through anecdotes or, storytelling through blogs. So,
Mm.
all those things would be secondary keywords, but primarily people identify me and
Okay.
I am known as a storyteller.
Fantastic. Okay. And in your observation of your journey and your learning, so are there a couple of names that come to your mind who, according to you, are personal brands? And again, they don't have to be celebrities or politicians. It
Hmm.
can be everyday walk of life people. And what are some of those attributes or characteristics you admire about them?
Okay. See, I would say people who are heroes around us, amongst
Mm.
us, have
Mm.
developed strong personal brands. In
Mm.
fact, I have compiled 33 such stories in my recent book, Heroes Amongst Us.
Okay.
So I would share some of my favorites from that book.
Mm.
One of my favorites from the book is Harjeet Khanduja, who is Vice President HR of Reliance Jio.
Mm.
What I particularly admire about him is he writes very, very short, 5, 6 liner stories on LinkedIn, and
Mm.
his, post gets something like 1,500 likes or 2,000 likes. And it's a
Mm.
very powerful message in a very short way, So that
Mm.
is one thing which I like about him. And
Mm.
since he's a HR professional,
Mm.
his stories are having some, HR related communication or
Mm.
message in them.
Mm.
That is one.
Mm.
Secondly, I personally also like Harjeet Khanduja's story the most, or relate to it a little more because, his story talks about one obstacle after another which he faced in his life. And I
Mm.
think my story is a little similar. So that's why, uh,
Mm.
in
Mm.
fact, that is another interesting principle of storytelling, that we relate to
Mhm.
a story.
Mm.
When I see my story in someone else's story, or in some other story, then I
Mm.
relate to that story,
Mm.
very well. So we are
Okay.
always looking for our stories in, other stories.
Imandu. Fantastic. Okay. So, and in your journey, so what are some of the steps you personally took? So I can see that in your journey, you have, been doing this blogging part, and you have, of course, been part of the community. You've done a PhD. So I'm assuming that's a doctorate which you have pursued, right? Is that right?
Yes.
So I mean,
Yes.
so if you could tell us about your journey and what are some of the steps you took to build your personal brand?
Okay. So, some of the important milestones in my career, and though I said that, I have been in personal branding for nearly 10 years,
Mm.
but then I started doing my MBA in 1995 in
Mm-hmm.
marketing. And you
Mm-hmm.
can, call that the beginning of my journey, because I started, studying marketing as a profession,
Mm.
as a subject.
Mm. Mm.
And personal branding is actually about self marketing. So
Right.
that was the beginning of my journey.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I worked for a couple of years in the corporate world.
Mm.
Of course, corporate world teaches you a lot of its own lessons in terms of efficiency and effectiveness and
Mm.
leading people and so on, which are important, for your brand.
Mm.
Then I shifted to teaching and training. In fact, I have been teaching since 2003.
Mm.
I started teaching at Pondicherry University, and then, worked full time with ICFAI for a few years, and then I taught at some other colleges.
Mm.
Then, another important milestone was
Mm.
2010.
Mm.
when our team developed digital marketing content for an MBA institute. And
Mm.
it was during that development of digital marketing content, and in fact my PhD was on television news audiences, where I
Okay.
had realized that television channels were using social media and digital tools, and I had realized during
Mm.
that my PhD of
Mm.
2005 to 10 that
Mm.
digital is the future.
Mm.
2010, actually, when I finished my PhD, we started creating this content for MBA in digital marketing for an MBA institute. Then
Mm.
I was able to dig deeper into digital marketing. What are the tools, and which areas, domains, B2B,
Mm.
B2C,
Mm.
which tools are useful in which
Mm.
areas, and so on.
Mm. Mm.
Uh, that was another milestone. And after that, in fact, 2010 was a very important year in my life. I started, I joined Twitter. I
Mm.
started my blog, and
Mm.
blogging and content creation. I started a Facebook page.
Mm.
So the important content creation part
Mm.
started in
Mm.
2010.
Mm.
Though I had writing, I was actually writing an email series or a series on the joys of teaching, which
Mm.
was my compilation of my experiences as a teacher, which I
Mm.
was sharing with my students and friends on email. Now that I had
Mm.
started in 2009. So
Mm.
when I started my blog, I already had these 40, 50, stories ready for my blog. And
Mm.
no wonder my blog was listed among the best blogs in the world on alltop.com within
Mm.
6 months of
Mm.
it getting listed.
Mm.
Um then, of course, the next step was, I started working as a personal branding coach in 2011.
Mm.
2013, I realized that storytelling is the most powerful way of building brands. I
Mm.
also realized that American way of building personal brand doesn't work in India because for example, I'll give you an interesting example. One of my
Mm.
American friends
Mm.
has a Twitter bio which says shameless self promoter. Now that
Mm.
kind of person may work in the Western culture. People are very blunt,
Mm.
straightforward,
Mm.
but that would not work in Indian culture because we are
Mm.
not blunt, number one.
Mm.
And
Mm.
in our culture,
Mm.
unlike individualistic cultures of the West, we have
Mm.
community-centered cultures. So
Correct.
that is the second aspect.
Mm.
So that we have to talk about what we are contributing to the society as part of our
Mm.
personal branding.
Mm.
And third,
Got it.
I would put it in a little humorous way that third thing which I realized was, in India, we don't mean what we say and we don't say what we mean. We are a contextual culture. And if
Mm.
I go to somebody's house, and the host says that, Amit, would you like to have a cup of tea? I
Mm.
would say, no, 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 please don't, trouble yourself. And
Mm.
then he said,
Mm.
no, no, I am also feeling like it. And then I say, okay, oh, you then in that case, you can make.
Right.
Now, the host is reading my body language,
Mm.
because in Indian culture, if I say, okay, I would like to have a cup of tea, which I can say only to a close friend of mine, not
Mm.
in a formal situation,
Mm.
so that would be considered discourteous in Indian culture. So that would be, that kind of straightforwardness is not appreciated in our culture.
Mm. Mm.
So, that's why inspirational storytelling, I realized, solves all these challenges. So
Mm.
you create a win-win situation as a storyteller for yourself and
Mm.
for the audience, where your audience gets something interesting to read, to
Mm.
watch, and you
Mm.
build your brand and credibility in the process. So, inspirational storytelling is something which I realize is the most powerful personal branding tool in India.
Got got it. Okay, that's brilliant. I like that. And in terms of you did mention, that you went through some challenges and obstacles. So if you could,
Hmm.
articulate some of those challenges that you faced while you went about building your personal brand.
Yes, some of the major challenges. The first challenge, which actually started as soon as I went to school, was that I had genetic high myopia, which they
Okay.
call as medically they call it as congenital high myopia.
Okay.
So because of that, when I was studying in nursery KG, of course you have games and all. So when I started went to class one, so I
Mm.
used to get very close to the blackboard in the class, and that
Mm.
was informed by my teachers to my
Mm.
parents. They took me to a eyes ophthalmologist, and
Mm.
it was identified identified that I have this serious eye problem.
Mm.
I started using -6 spectacles at the age of 5.
Wow.
Uh, Now the challenge because of those spectacles was I was almost boycotted out of the outdoor sports. At
Mm.
least in the competition, nobody wanted me in the team. So that was a obstacle which I actually ended up converting into an opportunity because I started reading more and more books, and
Mm.
it helped develop better knowledge.
Mm.
I became the academic topper in school, as well as I was also very strong in co-curricular activities like debates,
Mm.
etc.
Mm. Mm.
So that was the first challenge. Second challenge was, uh, I would say a very important challenge was that when I started out as a personal branding professional in 2011, for
Mm.
2 years I had very tough time. The first year I remember nobody was ready to take my free coaching,
Mm.
because people did not understand personal branding. People did not
Mm.
understand, how all
Mm.
doing all that work on social media
Mm.
would help their careers. So
Mm.
getting, a client, because in coaching it's a common practice that,
Mm.
maybe first year of practice you would give a lot of free coaching so that you
Mm.
refine your own,
Mm.
coaching style, and
Mm.
you whatever learnings you need to do before you get into paid, so you learn
Mm.
yourself.
Mm.
So that was a big challenge, and then after 2 years, when I started realizing that this I'm trying, because I learned personal branding from Americans, and I was trying to implement American approach in India, which was
Mm.
a
Mm.
huge failure. 2 years. Then
Mm.
I shifted to storytelling, and as soon as I started talking about storytelling, I was welcomed in India.
Mm. Mm.
Storytelling for personal branding, or that started clicking. So that was
Mm.
another big.
Got it. Brilliant. Excellent. I think these are great insights. So, I mean, if I were to ask you, and again, it's similar to the earlier question, but what are some of the, things which you gained in this journey, and what are some of the things that you lost along the journey of building a personal brand?
Okay. Some of the gains during this journey, of course, have been the stronger brand you build, the better networking you can do. You know,
Mm.
uh,
Mm.
Today I have 15,000 followers on Twitter,
Mm.
or I have been active in blogging and LinkedIn, for so many years. So
Mm.
if I send a message to a vice chancellor of a certain university that I would like to meet you, I
Mm.
get an appointment very fast. So that credibility has been established, and
Mm.
I can meet very senior people very easily. So that is the advantage.
Mm. Mm.
Uh, a lot of times, in fact, I have written a couple of anecdotes. Sometimes people meet me in such a way that I find it over friendly. So there was one incident where I was little surprised that why is this person getting so friendly.
Mm.
I have meeting for the first time, and then he said that I have read so many of your stories that you may not be familiar with me, but
Okay.
I feel very familiar to you.
Okay.
Now that's an interesting. People start connecting with you because of your stories.
Got it. Got it.
That is what I would say I have gained. I have gained a lot of connections,
Mm.
relationships,
Mm.
um, professional credibility.
Mm.
And what I would have lost is something funny. I would like to share.
Mm.
Uh, when you have a certain brand,
Mm.
then people expect you to behave in a certain way.
Mm.
So in 2010, when I started my Twitter account, the Twitter handle since then has
Mm.
been Dr. Amit Inspires. I
Mm.
started with inspirational quotes on my social media.
Mm.
Now people expect me to inspire all the time. Supposing I'm in a bad mood, and if I post something in a bad mood on my Facebook profile,
Mm.
nobody wants to like it or converse with me because people expect that Amit has to inspire.
Mm.
So that's something, that's the pressure of
Mm.
behave as a brand, which
Mm.
the word.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. I mean, these are great, great insights. Yeah, I like the fact that sometimes you are pressurized to kind of live the brand that you have built for yourself, right? And if you were to, give advice to someone who's starting out, so if it could be a graduate, it could be a student right now in school, someone who's starting out from scratch. So what is your, what is the first step he or she should take?
Okay, interesting question. I think the first step is to do hit and trial and loads of experimentation. And the best place to do that is Facebook,
Mm,
because Facebook has your close friends and family, and you can make a fool of yourself in front of them.
mm,
Not on LinkedIn or Twitter in front of the public. Don't We should not make a fool of ourselves. So what I do is I come up with a new idea, I come up with a new story. Sometimes as a creative person, you have that excitement to share it.
mm,
I go and post that on Facebook.
mm,
I make one edit the next day, the second edit after 2 days, maybe another third edit after 3 days. And after
mm,
that, I start feeling, okay, this is something which is worth going out to the public now, beyond friends.
mm,
Then I would take it to a blog or LinkedIn or Twitter. So
mm.
Facebook is my, platform for trial, hit and trial, experimentation, failure, making a fool of myself, and so on.
Okay, okay, great. Okay, interesting. That's a nice way of approaching it. And if you had the opportunity to, reflect on your career and change one thing about your personal brand and do it differently, what would that be?
Okay, so that reminds me of something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think, when you evolve and grow as a person,
Mm,
there are so many things you start also feeling uncomfortable about your own past.
mm,
So I will give you an interesting example.
mm,
So I have done a lot of joint blogging with, my American friends or Indian friends, and
mm,
that has really sharpened and, polished my writing and blogging skills.
mm,
But when Facebook has this habit of showing you memories every day, and when Facebook shows you a post of 2007 and you
mm,
read your own post,
mm.
and you actually think, was I such an idiot? Did I write this?
Uh,
So I think that is the part of the evolution process.
mm. Okay, okay, okay. And if I were to ask you to summarize, what's your recipe for personal branding success in one line? What would that be? So, what's your mantra for personal branding success?
My mantra is your story is your brand.
Sorry, could you repeat
As
that
simple
again?
as
Sorry, I
that.
missed it. There's a plane flying overhead.
Yeah.
Um,
So my mantra is your story
okay.
is your brand.
Okay, your story is your brand. Fantastic. That's a great line. And so now currently with a lot of the crises going on, so you have the pandemic, and then there's economic downturn, and that's something which has been going on for a while. So what do you recommend for personal brands to do during this time? Do they pause? Do they be more active? What is your recommendation for them?
Okay, so I think a very important point at this stage is, as you would have noticed, a lot of best universities are offering free courses.
Mm,
There
yeah.
are people, like a friend of mine is offering a certain course where she says that 100% of the proceeds goes to Prime Minister's Care Fund.
Mm,
So, whatever you are doing at this point of time,
mm,
depending upon your, choices, or depending upon your financial comfort level.
mm,
So a certain percentage of whatever you earn, it is, good to donate. It is good to contribute to the society,
mm,
especially at this point of time.
mm,
In fact, Bloggers Alliance decided to hire. We would be hiring, almost 10 interns this year,
mm,
and these interns are from premier institutes like BIMTech.
mm,
And some of these internships were finalized only a week back, because a
mm.
lot of internships were cancelled by
Right.
large organizations. I had taught these students about personal branding, and of course, as a teacher, also you have a soft corner for your students.
Yeah, yeah.
And we decided to take these interns.
Mm,
And since Bloggers Alliance has a tie-up with NASCOM community now,
mm,
Bloggers Alliance doesn't have much work to do in finance or HR, for example.
mm,
So
mm,
what we decided, that let these students write blogs on HR tech, fintech, and these emerging areas on NASCOM community, where
mm,
Bloggers Alliance, we guide them, mentor them, and
mm,
also promote them, help them, maybe network through social
mm,
media. So, this is our contribution to society at this point.
Okay. That's brilliant. So they are. I mean, are they are doing this as part of their internship? Is that what you mean?
Yes. So they are doing, in fact, 5 students have already started their internship with me. Another 5 would be joining after 1 week.
Okay,
So they are doing a summer internship with Bloggers Alliance and under my guidances.
fantastic. Okay, and there are a lot of youngsters out there who want to be these one-hit wonders. YouTube, and they're very comfortable with digital social media. So, what's your advice for the younger generation? So, how can they go about building their personal brands?
Okay, so I think young generation has one strength and one weakness which they need to keep in mind. The strength is, they would be more of digital natives and I would be more of a digital immigrant. So they are maybe, sometimes they can be more comfortable. Sometimes it happens in my classes that a student knows Instagram better than me, another student knows YouTube better than me, third student knows maybe, Facebook better than me because they have focused only on one platform. So, I have, while dividing my time and energy on so many things. Now, what I do is I involve these students in co-learning in the class. Okay, so this expertise, this comfort level with digital is the strength of this generation. But the weakness is, there is a certain wisdom, maturity, controlled enthusiasm, which comes with age, which comes with experience. That is something which young people have to look towards middle-aged or older people to learn those skills.
Okay. So when you say maturity and controlled enthusiasm, so are you saying that they need to pace themselves so that they can build their personal brands? Is that what you're saying?
I can give you some examples. Like I always tell my students, when you are angry, depressed, frustrated, do not sit on social media. In fact, the leading cyber lawyer of India, Pawan Duggal, he had written in one article that Indians have a habit of vomiting on social media. Okay. We are sharing too much of personal frustrations. I will share one interesting incident with you. I was going for a morning walk early in the morning. There was a lady with her daughter and they were passing by. And since they were so close, I automatically overheard their conversation. So the mother was scolding the daughter. Why did you write on Facebook feeling lonely? And I think loneliness is a problem of this generation. I'm not sure why, because the mothers are working or we are busy with our smartphones or, whatever the reason is. But there is an increased loneliness. Now, that's a paradox that on one hand, we are globally connected. On one hand, on the other hand, we have, an increased sense of loneliness within the family. Maybe when I had stayed in a hostel, I might have felt lonely because I was away from the family. But when I was staying with the family, then I was not lonely. So with the younger generation is
Got it. Brilliant. So, Dr. Amit, I'm really, pleased and delighted to have you on this channel. These answers have been brilliant. I'm sure it will be loved by all our viewers. So, thank you again for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Okay. Welcome, Anis.
All right. Take care. Thank you so much. I'll let you know I'll send you the transcript so that you can take a look before it goes live.
Pleasure talking to you.
All right. Take care. Bye.